Before you say anything, yes, I still haven't uploaded my Kenobi video. It's coming, guys, I promise. But in case you missed it, I did upload a little snippet of it right here on this very channel where I gave you all a little taste of what's to come, as well as letting you all know that the video is in fact going to be 2 hours long. So please work with me. Just give me a little more time. The video is almost done being edited. But in the meantime, there's something else that's been on my mind lately that I wanted to talk to you guys about. It's a show that's been on the air for about 7 years, and it just finally went off this month after 6 seasons. And if you clicked on this video, then you probably already read the title and thumbnail, and you know that the show I'm talking about is Better Call Saul.
Hi, I'm Saul Goodman. Did you know that you have rights? The Constitution says you do.
Now, I've had a few people ask for my take on this show, and I really have been wanting to talk about it for a while, so I figured that now is the perfect time to do it, when its ending is still recent and fresh on everyone's minds. But I must confess, there is an ulterior motive to this video. You see, I've recently garnered something of a reputation over the course of 2022 for being overly negative, and that's something I never wanted my channel to be known for. It just so happens that almost all the stuff that's come out recently in the media that I typically like to consume and then talk about have all been complete and utter horse shit, and I pride myself on being honest with you guys. Even if it's an opinion I don't think you'll want to hear. I mean, I don't know how many of you were just hoping against hope that I would like the Boba Fett show. I certainly was, but... So yes, with that little asterisk in mind, I want to finally break the mold, so to speak. Really step out of my comfort zone and break new ground. I've got 2 really long Kenobi videos coming up, and they're not gonna be pretty. So I thought for a change, your friendly neighborhood Sheev man could spice things up and be nice. And Better Call Saul is the perfect thing for that, because when I tell you that this show is incredible, I fucking mean it. It is, in my opinion, better than Breaking Bad, and it's not even remotely close. And don't get me wrong, I like Breaking Bad a lot. If you had told me 8 years ago that they were making a spin-off show about the comic relief lawyer and that it was going to be a high-stakes drama with better storytelling than Breaking Bad, I would have called you insane. But hey, it just is what it is. And before we get started, I should preface that this video is obviously going to contain spoilers. I also want to mention that I intend to keep this relatively brief. I am, after all, still trying to get that Kenobi video done. But I think after I'm finally done talking about that mediocre pile of shit, I'm going to revisit this series and give it the much more in-depth review that it deserves. Probably. I'm not committing to anything. I'm not making any promises. We'll see how I'm feeling at the time. So, with all that out of the way, Better Call Saul is one of the best television shows ever put to screen, and if you haven't seen it, you need to watch it right now before I spoil the shit out of it for you. This is not a request. You are legally not allowed to watch this video until you've seen the entire series and Breaking Bad for good measure. Got it? Good. I honestly cannot think of a single thing wrong with this show, man. It's fucking perfect. Or at the very least, it is as perfect as anything is ever gonna get. There is not a single character that I don't like and whose actor doesn't completely knock it out of the park in their performance. Can I even begin to impress upon you all how astronomically rare it is for 2 shows consisting of 11 seasons and a movie to possibly remain consistently good? That's unheard of. One thing that this show has always done well, but that this season especially has excelled at, is cameos. And I hate to even use that word because the second you say it, everyone just dismisses everything else you say. There's an inherently negative connotation to the term, and that's 100% due to current pop culture and its obsession with key-jangling familiar faces at its audience. But man, this show is just on a completely other level. Every single cameo services the story so brilliantly and serves to recontextualize the original series in so many incredible ways. The fact that they tied together Lalo's name drop in Saul's debut episode from all the way back in season 2 of Breaking Bad and made that like a major plot point in the latter half of this show.
No, it wasn't me. It was Ignacio. He's the one. Lalo didn't send you? No, Lalo. Who? Oh, thank God.
Whoa. I barely know Ignacio. Whatever he did alone. Not with me. It wasn't me. It was the guy.
That's fucking genius. I love it. I love being rewarded for being a fan of something and paying attention. It's honestly sad that that's where the bar's at this point. Jesse meeting Kim outside of Saul's office and asking her for her opinion on whether or not he's any good, only for her to reply,
"When I knew him, he was."
That's holy shit, that's just so inspired. And you know what? This may come off as a bit surface level as far as critical analysis is concerned, but that moment is what sells the finale for me. Saul was finally caught, and just like always, he figured out a way to talk himself into the best possible situation he could for himself. But he made the decision to give all of that up because of Kim, the one person left to anchor him back to his goodness, and in so doing, he cast away the Saul Goodman persona and became Jimmy McGill once again.
The name's McGill. I'm James McGill.
That's just masterful. I love it so much. And this show is just full of great character work. It's really hard to pick a favorite character because they're all so great, but here are some standouts. Jimmy, obviously. Kim was great. Chuck is exceptionally written and serves as a great foil for Jimmy. Kid named Finger pretty much steals the show every time he's on screen, which is seriously impressive considering how many scenes he shares with the one and only Gustavo Fring. Lalo was added in so late to the show that it's astonishing how well they managed to integrate him into the story in such a natural way, and he's played so charismatically by Tony Dalton. Look at him. Look at that smile. It's so infectious. But if I'm being honest, I think the highlight character for me, at least for this season, is Nacho. He's only in the first 3 episodes before getting killed off, but man, they do not waste a second of that screen time. His journey throughout the course of this show, going from being nothing more than Tuco's lapdog to one of the most fleshed out, profound characters in the entire Breaking Bad franchise, is nothing short of fantastic. And I swear to God, if Michael Mando doesn't win any awards for that chilling performance he gave during his death scene, then I'll have officially given up on humanity.
Then you know what else, Hector? I put you in that chair. So when you are sitting in your shitty nursing home and you're sucking down on your Jell-O night after night for the rest of your life, you think of me, you twisted fuck.
Anyway, those are my extremely abridged thoughts. Like I said earlier, part of the reason I wanted to make this video was because I wanted to show you guys that I can be positive. My standard is simply good storytelling. You give me that and I'm not gonna complain. I'm not some grumpy old cynic who doesn't like letting anyone have any fun. I genuinely love this show and I'm sad to see it go. It's a funny feeling saying goodbye to my favorite show. This is a universe I fell in love with and have enjoyed for so many years. But one thing I will say is that I respect Vince Gilligan and Peter Gould for quitting while they're ahead, or at least I hope that's what they're doing. They could easily milk this franchise for another decade at least, and knowing them, they honestly could probably do that without ever depleting the overall quality of these stories. But I think it's about time to bow out. Let it go out with a bang like so many other franchises should have done and have suffered drastically because they didn't. Oh, but if you're gonna make another show, please make it about Kim's extremely uninteresting boyfriend in Florida. I want 10 seasons, a movie, and an MCU cameo stat. Also, while I've got you here, I figure in the spirit of being nice today, I want to mention some other things that I watched this year that I consider of quality and worthy of praise, but I'm probably never gonna make any full videos on. And these aren't necessarily all things that came out this year, just stuff I didn't watch until 2022. Everything Everywhere All at Once is pretty good. I know I've already mentioned it in another video, but it's worth bringing up again because this movie absolutely slaps. Arcane was a surprisingly phenomenal show, and that's coming from someone who's never played League of Legends and has absolutely no context whatsoever for the game. It's just a great bit of storytelling, and it's worth getting into. Can't wait for season 2. Now, it may surprise you guys to hear this one, but I never actually watched Daredevil until this year. I don't know what I was thinking or why I waited as long as I did, but surprise, surprise, it was actually pretty good. Of course, now I'm worried about how the future MCU stuff might very well fuck him up, but regardless, we got 3 great seasons on Netflix, and if the new stuff turns out to be shit, then I'll just ignore it and say it ended here. Stranger Things 4 came out this summer, and it was a lot better than I was expecting. I already liked the show, but this season really knocked it out of the park. They absolutely did not waste the 3 years it took them to make it. I was even going to make a video about it during the hiatus between volumes 1 and 2, but got busy with other stuff and never ended up getting around to it. But really solid season, had a few issues, especially toward the end there, but not much that I have to complain about. And last, but certainly not least, Community. Yet another show that I've had recommended to me time and time again, but have always dismissed for whatever reason, but I finally got around to watching it. As a matter of fact, I watched all 6 seasons in the span of like 4 days. That's how much I loved it. Very good show. Anyway, thank you all for watching, and I will see you all as soon as I get that fucking Kenobi video out. So, like 2 or 3 years from now, probably, if I had to guess. Goodbye!